Okay, sounds good. Okay, good. Good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Bonjour. I'm Yago Tanaga, and I'm here today to support Emma and her family in the journey of Roth as he makes his journey to the land of everlasting happiness. I welcome each and every one of you, family, brothers and sons and sister-in-laws here today to celebrate Ralph's life. And I'm grateful for the smudging today as well. The smudging is very important to us. It's a way to help us to come into ourselves, help us to calm us down, and to be more present today. Also, the tobacco that was passed out in Sema is also a way to offer our prayers and gratitude to the Blessed Ones, the Manadus, who will help with Roth's journey into the West. Today is his last day. Today we have a feast with him, his last meal, and he will make his journey. I'd like to open with a prayer. Bonjour. Bonjour, ni shasam bituk, ni ji bimadizig, ni wet makwa, because of me don't makwa. The whole Blessed Ones, we call upon you, Mishomas, Nikunis. We call upon you, our ancestors, to be present with us today in this time of grief, this time of sadness, this time of loss, this time of the unknown. We ask that you be with everyone that is here present, especially with Emma and her family. Help her, guide her, help her through this time of grief and loss. We ask of these things because we know that you have the ability to be with us. You have never left our side. You are always with us. I also pray for a good journey for Ralph. I call upon you to make that journey a good one. Guide his spirit through the path to the land of everlasting happiness. I'd like to read something just to start. And this is from Grandfather Standing Elk. And his words I thought were appropriate for today as well. It's about the journey of our life and the 4 stages of life and how it comes about like being a caterpillar and going through those different stages. The Great Spirit sent forth life. Mother Earth provides a little world for this life to grow. We call this life the egg, and within the egg, the individual gestates and internalizes their purpose for being, visioning who they are and why. This is the first stage of life, the first stage of transformation. This is why this path first sends the individual to be first within themselves in spirit, to be in the egg of centering. And with that, we also, that transformation of life, Ralph is also in the process of transforming into a new life as well. A circle within a circle. Life is forever and goes. And so with this, I say miigwech to each of you, and I ask for the Okichi-da players, singers, to sing the prayer song. Duck are quite singers, and honored to have him here. And also to honor Ralph in his journey today. I'd like to explain a little bit about his journey. Today is his 4th day, and during these last 4 days he's been traveling back and forth to visit places and to visit loved ones. And he will make that journey and travel while he lived here on this earth, touching base, touching those special places that he remembers and he went to. And this is also, like I said before, his last meal. And I know that later there will be a spirit plate. I don't know if the spirit plate came today or not here, but I know that later this evening there will be a spirit plate for him. And also, what I understand from my elders is that it's also a time for us to have good thoughts and good feelings and good memories, and to be able to share the story of his life in a good way. So you want him to be able to leave without having anything holding him back, so that he may make that journey. What I also understand is that when he makes that journey after that, when he's there that first year, is when he starts to have a kind of review of his life and to look at things. And so that's kind of a nutshell of the process. And we honor that process. And so I say miigwech to you, Ralph, that your journey is here today, your final journey. The path before you, many of our ancestors have walked that path. Follow that path in a good way and know that you are deeply loved here by your family and Emma. Take care and have a good journey on this day. I have never met Ralph. I only have heard a little bit of who he was. But my communication with Pam and getting ready for today, I asked, who was he? What was he about? And so what I do know, the little bit that I do know, is that he was also part of the U.S. Army, so he's a veteran. That he loved the outdoors. He was a commercial fisherman. He did trapping. That he just loved the ebb and flow of grandmother, Aki, our earth, sacred earth. But I also learned that he was a quiet man. But most of all, what I heard was his deep love for Emma, as he supported her in whatever endeavor she wanted to do, be it beadwork, sewing women's regalia, going to ceremony or powwows, and that great support that he offered to her in their life together. So this is the little bit that I know. And so it's customary for us to invite people to come up and say a few words about Ralph. And so I encourage whoever would like to come up, is to come up and speak.
My English name is Shirley, and I've known Ralph now for, well, actually I met Emma first at a powwow, and we're standing in line together and we just start chatting. You know how Shinabs are. We ran into each other and just start talking, and that's how I got to know her. And then throughout the years, going to her house, and Ralph was always there. Just to me, he just was like, he always will be a sweetie. He's always sweet to me and very kind and welcoming, you know, and it's like visiting a relative, you know, when you went to their house, just sit there, and he's always watching TV. He loved his TV and loved the like Law and Order type stuff in 48 Hours and all those kind of like intriguing shows that he liked to watch. anyway, the thing about Ralph is that he just had that like quiet way, you know, kind of like a lot of schnobs are, you know, when you meet them, they're very quiet and don't say very much, but yet by what they don't say, you learn a lot by what people don't say. And it's a lot of the body language and the behaviors. And throughout the years that I've known Ralph, he always exuded love for people, and also never had anything negative to say about anybody. And that's really, really something nowadays with so much going on in the world, and our world is so, in some ways, chaotic right now, and so many pests that we have. And I think he was always to me like a foundation, or like a balance, or like somebody who stabilized you when you were around him. At least that's how he was for me. And he always thought of me, you know, and I know that, and Emma says that he always thought of me, and I just, I'm gonna really, really miss him so much. And he isn't a biological relative, but he's still a relative. And it's like Creator gives you people like that come into your life, and they affect your life in all kinds of different ways, and you don't even know it till way later. And so he taught me things, and I will look back on our interactions and remember more. And I really honor him and honor his life and his path. Because if you think about it, not even a lot of natives lived the way he lived, by fishing and trapping. That's how we lived when we grew up, was fishing and trapping, and that's the way a lot of traditional people live. And then teaching us things by how they live, and keeping forward in a really good way. And I think too that he knows Emma has us, and that's why he chose to leave, because he knew that she would be okay with us. Because I know it was hard for him to leave her. And it's time now to let him go and to let him continue the journey into the other world. And he just looks so peaceful now, because toward the end he struggled and he was in pain. And I saw that. And I also saw the many injustices of how he was treated at some of the facilities that he was at. And it makes me want to fight all the more for justice for everybody that needs it, you know, in these times. So I'm going to continue on and love him and miss him at the same time, and yet be happy for his days. Oh, thank you.
Shu, Anishna Bedok, Nimi Anang Indigo, Wabashkag no Kwe Indigo, Weekana Wabi Kwe Indigo, Kikitu Gunu Kwe Indigo, Magazine and Asabe Kone Zaga Igining and Dunjima. My name is Deb Croda. I'm the eldest daughter of Ralph from his first marriage. And I am here with my brother and his fiance, and we are the only two left of the 7 children. And I am very, as I told Emma earlier, I'm very happy that she was a good wife to him. And they loved each other. And the one thing about my dad and all the Geyer brothers, because there's only one brother left and one sister out of 6 brothers. Is that right? 6 brothers. And all of them were mountain men, if you want to call them that. They did all the hunting, fishing. In fact, my dad, he would become so animated if I would talk to him about fishing and trapping and the mink, and I remember the smell of the mink. But I'm very grateful and thankful to Emma. She's been very kind and loved my dad, and for that I'm forever grateful. Thank you, Emma. You know, it takes a lot, and I know he was so proud of being in this marriage for as long, I can't remember how many years, but it was, holy cow. How many?
57.
57, that's an accomplishment, you know, and I mean, that's just awesome. You don't hear of that anymore, you know, that kind of commitment to each other. And, you know, he's a very giving man, and no judgments. He was non-judgmental. And he did the best in his life. And he loved being outdoors, just like Uncle Donnie, Uncle Glenn, and the rest of the fellas. Uncle Teddy. Yeah. So anyway, he's forever loved. And love does not die. It continues on. I felt his presence here earlier. And he's happy. He's happy. And for that, I'm content and pleased. So I just want to say thank you to the ladies for singing that beautiful song. It was, I started singing right along with you. Very beautiful. Thank you all for coming. You good?
Almost cut us out.
Hello everyone, I just would say a few words. My name is Blanca Vergara, and I've been Ralph's nurse for a few years, maybe 4 or 5 years, and I met him at Agency Center, and I was very happy to have him as a patient. And Emma too, his wife. I think he was a very gentleman. He had a very gentle heart. Every time I come in, I says, Ralph, how are you doing? And he goes, oh, very well. Nothing happened. Every time he would say that. And we got to talk sometimes a little bit, and about his marriage, and he says, well, I married the most beautiful girl in the world. That was his answer. So I kept, I would visit him once a week or twice a week with the need. And the last time I was there, I sent him to the hospital because he needed to go to the hospital then. I didn't see him back again. And I knew that he was transferred to this facility. So I talked to Emma and told me what happened. So I just want to tell everybody, Emma, that he was a good, very good man. For many years, he never complained. He was happy and laughed, and we talked about the weather, about a few things. And I was really I was waiting for him to come back and Emma give me a call when he's back. But it was the opposite. But you know what? He's really happy where he is. You know, when they say we laugh, we cry when we are born, and we laugh when we go. He's in the best place, I think it is, and we all will follow him. And I thank you, Emma, for being such a wonderful wife. We had a good relationship. And that's what I love, because nursing is a wholeness. It's not just to see what is wrong with. It's a whole. It's body, mind, and soul. Make them feel comfortable and that they're cared for. So I just want to say these words on behalf of him and God. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Bonjour. My name is Sharon Day, and I just wanted to say a few words about Ralph, and echo a little bit of what other people have said already. He was a kind and he was a good man. And you know, ever since I knew him, he's been either with a walker or in a chair, or so he never was very mobile. But I heard lots of stories about Ralph from Emma, and just some being with them myself. But from what I gather, you know, when they were young, they liked music, they liked to dance, they liked to party. They had a good life, and they liked to, and they traveled all over, you know, all over from Rainy River, you know, down to southern Minnesota, fishing and camping, and so I heard about all those things, and I think it was about 12 years ago, because I believe you were celebrating your 46th anniversary. They were going to Hinckley, and Emma called me up and she said, yeah, we're going up to Grand Casino to celebrate our 46th wedding anniversary. And I said, oh, that's a long time. How did you stay married that long? And she said, I wondered that myself. She said, but I think we're not ever mad at the same time. and so she said, yeah, so we're going to go up there. And she called me again, and somebody had been going to go with them, and they couldn't go. And she said, well, we have room if you want to come. And I thought, yeah, maybe I will, because some of my other friends are going up there too. And so I think I went to a basketball game, and then I drove up there. And so I'm driving up there, and I'm thinking, room. We have room. What does that mean? But I was already on my way, so I just kept going. But of course, the room meant they had double beds, and there would be an extra bed. And so I found Emma when I got there, and she said Ralph was already upstairs. And she said, so come up, you know, whenever. She gave me a key. She said, come up whenever you're ready. So I played, and I had dinner with friends. I played, and then I went up, and it was pretty late. I went to sleep, and I woke up in the morning, and they were watching TV, and it was like one of those Wild Kingdom stations, and they were watching some documentary about bears, and I could hear them talking about the bears, and pretty soon, and I tried to fall back asleep, and then I heard Emma asking Ralph, did you ever eat a bear? So that was how they were together, you know, like they were always having fun no matter what they did. And pretty soon they woke up and they said, okay, let's go. Because I told them I'd buy them breakfast for their anniversary. So we went downstairs and had breakfast. But, you know, Ralph, he was a kind of a quiet guy, but he, you know, he had his thoughts and he had his opinions, and you know, that's a long time to be married, 57 years, to share a life. And not only did they share, you know, those times when they were younger, and I heard those stories, but also they shared a lot of grief, and they made it through a lot of tragedy, and they made it through with grace. They made it through those times with grace and dignity, and you know, a good role model for all of us. You know, how to walk in this world, how to carry yourself in this world. And so just wanted to say a few words about Ralph, and say, come today and say, Gigawabaman, you know, that I believe that he's going to walk on that same path we do. That he's going to see those foods along the way, and you know, I see he has some tobacco. He's going to offer that, and he's going to leave a little bit for us, and he'll get to that river, and on the other side will be, you know, all his relatives waiting for him, and you know. My grandson told me once, you know, we had his grandpa, he was in a wheelchair too before he died. But after, about a year after he passed, you know, we used to always see him at powwows, and my grandson said, I seen my grandpa over there, and he was like, he didn't have a walker, he didn't have a wheelchair, he was like standing there smiling at us. But his body was like he was young again, healthy. And so Ralph's gonna have a lot of fun up there, you know, with that healthy body again, fishing, hunting, doing all those things that he loved to do. So Gigawabam and Ralph, and also wanna, you know, like say McGuetch for being able to share just a little part of their Emma and Ralph's life, and you know, I cherish those memories.
Does anybody else who'd like to come up and speak, say a few words? Okay, so next, Geechee Dog singers, could you please sing the Spirit Bearer song? Does somebody from the Geechee Dog player singers like to explain the bear song before you sing it?
The Spirit Bear song is a healing song, and it's, the words mean Spirit Bear, we see you coming, Spirit Bear, come and help us.
Oh,
as we're coming to the close of today, I'd like to speak a little bit about the next song that's going to be sung. It's called a traveling song. And part of our ways is that when we gather, we come together and we have shared meal, laughter, family, and companionship. That before people usually go is that we do this traveling song. And so the traveling song is about making that journey in a good way, going home in a good way. And we're going to sing it for Ralph today because that's where he's going home. And we want to send him off in a good way. And like I said before at the reception tonight, is that there will be a spirit plate of his food, a food for him, his last meal, water for him to drink. And then he will say, Gigawabamen. I know back home with my grandmother in Michigan, when we were back home for ceremony, we always looked to the Northern Lights because part of my teachings from her is that when the Northern Lights came out, that is when our ancestors who were making their journey say, I'm finally here after that year. And so we used to sing these old songs when those Northern Lights used to come out. And so I've always kept that close to my heart because it always helped me when I make my journey to be dancing among the Northern Lights as well. And hopefully there'll be somebody there that will remember all of us when that time comes. So I'm going to ask the Gichida singers once again to sing the traveling song, and then I'm going to ask each and every one of you in your heart's mind is to say whatever you need to say so that Ralph may make that journey. The Spirit will hear you, and I say Michimagwich to each and every one of you who loved him and knew him. And thank you for those wonderful stories, because now I get to know him a little bit more. So now may I ask the Gichika players to come forth again and sing, and if somebody wants to explain the traveling song a little bit better, I would encourage you to do that.
This is the song that it's actually comes from Michigan, and the women, I think they're the Swamp Singers, and they're from Michigan, and they only had the vocals in the beginning, and then they added the words, and in the words it's they say follow this path, and then we'll see you again. So it's like a song that's not about ending, but it's about going on and then making that path, and then we'll all take that path. So that's what this is about. It's we'll see you again. And I think in our way we never say the G word. We always say I'll see you again. So that's pretty much what this song is about. The traveling. Yeah. Way hey ya hey ya hey yo. 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 Garam moja kije maridu. Gadam moja kije maridu. Kweyache pimosia. Ba mapi kawak migo. Way hey ya hey ya hey yo. 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 Guna bona kije maridu. Guna bona kije maridu. Kweyache pimosia. Ba mapi kawak migo. Way hey ya hey ya hey yo. 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 Guna bona kije maridu. Guna
butch to every one of you. This is the closing. Encourage you to need to stay and visit with Emma and family, and we'll see you later on this evening. Butch.
Mhm.